The trials and tribulations of horse racing. Coming into last night, I told you guys where we welcome. She was going down the road. I was a little surprised she still went away 9-1. Yeah, the 4-horse looked like the best on paper, but it was pretty hard to bet a War We Welcome that showed 2 minutes at Mohawk coming into a horse that went in 58 at Northfield. Northfield's super fast track. And I knew that she was tight. I had trained her up. Now, racing tight and tight are two different things. You know, you get 2, 3, 4, 5 starts into a 3-year-old, you start to see them much. We'll get to her in a minute, but much like One My Heart Hanover was today, you hope and you hope to see that progression, right? A little stronger, this fella's got like 12 starts into her now. She is tough. Like she's gonna have 25, 30 starts by the end of the year. I don't know. She's tough. She raced huge. We want to see. That's the first time, the last 2 times we saw her trot away from horses. Pass, trot away. So big win for her today. Obviously, it was a little bittersweet. We'll get to that in a minute. So, Were We Welcome? I knew she was going to be forwardly placed. I don't think I've ever driven her, actually. I trained her at Northfield on Friday and knew she was sharp and she was tight. And James said she was coming in sharp. She had been training well. You know, again, goes to show about gamblers worried about horses that might be a little short. You know, there's a filly that I don't think she had a line in 30 days, did she? Might have been over 30 days. It was over 30 days, I think, because I was worried she was going to have to qualify. Remember, we were trying to get her over here to qualify her, and then they said, no, it's 45 days, I believe. So, Where We Welcome was at 30 or over last night and looked good. That was the first time she ever had her cage rattled in a long time. I don't remember James ever doing it, ever. And Mario had her last year. I mean, this is a filly that we treated as royalty from day one. Not that all the other horses were, but you guys know that have been with us a long time. It was always Where We Welcome, Where We Welcome, Where We Welcome. Qualified great, right? She qualified great. And then favorite in her first 2 golds. First start, she came up a little flat. No big deal. Second start, I think she made a break late in the stretch, if I'm not mistaken. Would like to see a lot more from Where We Welcome, and that's kind of how the year was. Scoped her. She was always full of mucus and just not good. Just bad luck from a heartbreaker. That's what, and much like One My Heart Hanover was last year. We tried to race her once and just said, put her away. I wouldn't say her ascension to right now was orthodox. You know, for her to have so many starts and now just start coming on the way she is impressive, but I guess not rare, but odd. You know, going into today, I thought there was just no shot that, unless I got traffic trouble like last week, there's no shot that One My Heart Hanover is going to beat a Glare AM. I mean, I love One My Heart Hanover, but she's still not quite as good as a Glare AM. And now that I say that, a Glare AM's got roughly the same amount of money, a lot less starts under her belt, and now had a little break today, made a break today in the first turn. Now, for those of you who maybe aren't associated with a Glare AM, you may not know the story of the backstory of what's going on. So last week we saw a little filling in her hind leg. I knew right away it looked like bruising from a horse hitting, but I don't remember hearing a bang, or she's not a chronic horse she's not a horse that chronically interferes, right? We've had trouble with Spend That Money in the past, and horses like that interfere. Glare AM isn't one of those, right? She might pick at herself now and again, but not to the point where you'd see swelling. We had it x-rayed, we had fluoroscope, or we had it ultrasounded, just as what we assumed it was. It was a bruise, a bone bruise, I guess, hit right on that cannon bone. She raced with it last week. We cooled it out, raced with it. I felt her running in a bit, picking at it in the mile. So after the race, there was a little heat in there again, so she was hitting it. I could hear it audibly and then physically see the remnants of what was going on. So we made a decision we were going to make a shoeing change. Now, this is a filly you can't be rough with. Also, she ties up, right? Ties up easy. So her AST was a little elevated, tiny bit, but that's not odd for her. Tiny bit after her last race, but that's her, right? So we decided to make the shoeing change. Couldn't train her hard because it rained all week, right? you go out and train a horse that ties up hard in the rain. Tell me how you make out at least a coin flip of the time she's going to tie up. And when they tie up, a horse like her, when she ties up, she's tied up. Now, I went and saw her after the race. She's not tied up to the extent where she may not be at all, but certainly not to the extent that you can see it. So you may see it in the blood, but you may not see it optically. She looked fine after the race. Her leg looked okay, but she wasn't trotting as good. We lightened her up, squared her toe up front. I really thought that this would do it. This would be the key. This would keep her, at least change the trajectory of those front feet, so, she can work with that. Because the track was muddy, I didn't want to go last trip with her in the race bike and in the mud. I wish now, hindsight's always so clear, right? I wish I had of now. I would have known that she wasn't trotting perfect. I don't know what changes we could have made. Maybe put toe weights on her. I don't know. I knew 2 steps out of the gate that you can feel, especially a good horse, you can feel when they're unsure of themselves. And as we got to the first turn, I had her quieted down, and I had her in the 2 wide path almost, just to let her sink in a little bit if she wanted to, just to keep her quiet. I'm looking at the field, and God love her, I love Won My Heart Hanover, but at no point did it ever dawn on me that Won My Heart Hanover was going to beat her fair and square, and she may have anyway. Don't kid yourself. That was a big mile today. It's cold, and it rained right up until 11 o'clock in the morning here. It poured. So, they had fenders on. So, this wasn't a mile and 56 on a hot day. This was a mile and 56 with fenders on, muddy track, cold day. It's 57 degrees. What's that, 11? 12 degrees, something like that? I don't know, I'm guessing. Too lazy to do that. I knew around the first turn I was in trouble. I almost got her through the first turn, but I asked her to speed up in the last turn, and she made a break all by herself. So she wasn't. It wasn't the shoeing change that we were looking for. In fact, she was worse. So it's on me. It's on me for not, telling Tim, never mind the mud. I'm going last trip with her in the race bike, which I should have done, I suppose, in hindsight. What we would have done after that, I don't know, but that is not the shoeing change we need for Aglariam. Now, the good news is she was worse like that. I suspect we go the opposite way, which is problematic because we squared her toe. Going the opposite way would be put a longer toe, a lower degree on her. Kind of screwed that up, but it's fine. We can make adjustments. So, Aglariam has, now we're looking Stallion Series. We're not going to, long calendar for Aglariam. Aglariam's a tough filly too, but man, this other filly, Won My Heart Hanover, she's just turned into Indian rubber. I don't even know if I'm allowed to say that anymore. It's a thing. She's just turned into, just tough. I went back to see the fillies afterwards, and Won My Heart just looks like a bodybuilder, and she's ripping into her lunch, eating her mash. This is a filly that, we had concerns. Didn't finish off her dinner, so to speak, on the racetrack, where she's left money on the table, getting beat in ways she shouldn't have. I was hoping, is this filly going to get that eye of the tiger? And you know what? Not often you see this, but take note. Here's a horse that may have been suspected of cowardly behavior in the past. Popped out of the 2-hole, blasted around the leader, opened up. Now, I couldn't see the finish because I was coming to the head of the lane, but it looks like she was well in hand when I come into the stretch. A very impressive mile for her. Just pitched the Aglariam mile out. We can fix that. I am worried about her hitting that left hind up high still. It's not uncommon to do that, but we want to make sure we take care of it. Now that I know what didn't work, I'm pretty sure I know what will work. So, in hindsight, you can blame that on me. 1, the shoeing change did not work. It hindered her racing performance. And 2, I should have went last trip with her, mud or not. I should have went last trip with her. I'm always worried about this filly tying up. So I'm always like walking on eggshells around her, and you still have to. There's no, enough's enough, we're going to do it differently. No. You still have to be careful around Aglariam. Just keep in mind, as angry as I was and frustrated as I was, it's a long year. And I'm making a break in the non-winners of 3 or whatnot at 4 to 5. She'll get that money at some point. You only get it once. She'll get it at some point. And then Sweet Ambitions, listen, Sweet Ambitions is much like Philly Fringes. There's a little bit of a gap between obviously now Won My Heart, and when you started the season, we weren't talking about Sweet Ambitions at all. She raced great 2 weeks ago, raced poorly last week, little flat today, But there's quite a jump between the now Mersha 2 and now Mersha 3. We have options with her too. We can do a number of things with her to get to the bottom of, to get her in a place where she's comfortable. Leaving her to upper class is, I just had it in my head that, you take this filly back, she's not going to try. And she's so quick off the gate. This is a filly that wears nothing. Wears a head pull on the left. I warmed her up with no boots, no bandages, no nothing. And she was perfect. I think you could race her like that. Very rare to see a horse as slick gated as that. But again, she's got a medium-sized frame, maybe a little bit of a 4-cylinder engine sometimes. But I think she's a horse. We treat her properly moving forward, keep the weight on her, keep training her, keep racing her, much like get into that deeper part of the order, like Won My Heart. You're going to see her start to get stronger and stronger. When I sit behind her, you can see a little baby fat, still a little flab there, where Won My Heart's got so many starts now, I think you just bounce quarters off her rib cage. She's strong, and she's just tight everywhere. She just looks beautiful. So starts, but drive her accordingly. I overdrove her today, but she'll bounce back next week, I'm sure. So the only question I have heading into the 21st, which is the stake races for these two fillies, is who's going to the Stallion Series and who's not going to Philadelphia. We'll find out. Sweet Ambition's pretty hard to send her there, although she's handy. She's handy, but we got to pay, what, $200 or $300 to race for 20. We can pay nothing to race for 10 here. I might have a place for her. Maybe. I may have answered my own question. So I've been teasing everybody, talking about Massachusetts for a while, and we haven't sent any horses there. First one's racing tomorrow, Cyrus Blue Chip. That'll be his last start for us. Braemar will likely. We're selling him. We're selling him, buddy. Ollie, he's got his tablet in the back. He's with me for the day, a little boys road trip. So Cyrus will be heading out after Thursday, I believe. Now, Braemar, I said to Mark Beckwith, the fillies that we have down there, Broadway Roll, even Cyrus Blue Chip, who's obviously a colt, and So Admirable. Get them raced, tell me what you think, and if we got to move them, we do move them. Perfect Record's a good fit. Looked a little flat the other day, and was. He wasn't flat, his tire was flat. So, literally. So, looks like we're going to find a number of spots for him. Now, Sweet Ambitions, softer company in Massachusetts, leave, corners well. Might be a good spot for her too. I'm thinking now, and you're getting this live from my brain. I'm thinking maybe Sweet Ambitions and Braemar head to Massachusetts. Might be a good fit. So we'll see about that on Saturday. It's all about putting the horses in where they can do. I know we've been butting heads, some people, some clients about, what the stable is, what it represents, and what it should be. And at the end of the day, yes, we're in it for entertainment, but my job, the steward of the stable, so to speak, is to make sure we can put our horses on the track where they're competitive. That's it. And there's nothing more important than that. That has to be the number one rule. And it's not just about money and revenue and wins. There's no entertainment in finishing last all the time. At 40 to 1, you're going to finish last a lot of the time. And the wonderful catchphrase is, they don't know what their odds are. I can tell you I do. You sit in behind a 40 to 1 horse, and you're going to know it's a 40 to 1 horse more times than not. So our job, my job, as callous as it seems sometimes, and you guys know me. I'm not a heartless guy. I feel for the people that don't want to sell the horses when we sell them. I get it. I had a long conversation with Vince Day from Florida. Very, very nice man. And he is your voice. Vince is the everyday person that just wants to see their horse race. But Vince knows. I'm in a tough spot here. Unless our horses can, quote, be competitive all the time, we have to look for alternative options. Selling them is obviously one of them. So, I'm getting a little sidetracked here. There's nothing to do with that. When it comes to the horses today, Won My Heart Hanover, A+. I couldn't have asked her to race any better. Hunter Myers did a great job. Tim has done an incredible job with this filly. She's just turned into a nice horse, and I couldn't be happier. You guys know how much I love this filly as a 2-year-old.
Now you're going to love her more.
That's a good point. I don't know if I could, Ollie. I love her. She's a nice filly. And I'm glad I am pitched the race out. As much as I'm mad at myself, for all that went on today, pitch it out, blame me, pitch the race out. It never happened. All right?
You should like Unbeatable Camp too.
I like Unbeatable Camp. He's a nice horse. And then Sweet Ambitions, I just asked her to do too much. That's not me. It's not her fault. I can say, oh, she's no good. She is. She's got to race her where she can do. And that is where we led into that maybe, possibly trip to Massachusetts. Here's a filly that's got nothing wrong with her. She can race with no boots, nothing, no hobbles. Put anybody on her. Put her on the gate. Chirp to her coming out of the gate. She'll leave 28 seconds. Get her spotted up. Once she's in with horses she can beat. Those are tough horses. You know, I looked at the program before and I looked again after. The 2-horse show's 54. 78,000 made. These are the horses we're racing against, right? Little step down in company. I think Sweet Ambitions will come back. And don't kid yourself. I could care less if we have an okay Stallion Series horse or a real nice numbers, a 2, 3, 4 horse. I don't love paying to race for money unless I can win. And there's nothing wrong. Sweet Ambitions lost nothing for me to, I would like to see her go out and trot 57, 58. But I can see where she can and will be a better horse with more work into her. She's going to take time. She's going to take races. And nothing more proves that than Won My Heart Hanover's performance today. An incredible performance. You see a metamorphosis into the horse we were all hoping for. And I see it today. So happy for her. So happy for her clients with Won My Heart Hanover. With Sweet Ambitions. Relax. I get just the thing for Sweet Ambitions. We'll get her all fixed up, ready to roll. And then at Glaria, I'm pitching out today. Blame me, do whatever you want. We'll get her squared away in no time. So, that is a long-winded video about today, where we welcome last night. First win, good for her. I believe she knows she's in Ohio now. And she's in the non-wars of 2 next week. Now, she may race in Pennsylvania. I know Peggy's going to be, oh my God, I got a Pennsylvania license now. No, you don't. It's 5% threshold, Peggy. Relax. She may. Now, keep in mind, she's an Ontario-bred filly. They have a 10-horse field with an also eligible this week. The only way they would probably use her next week in the non-wars of 2 is if they split the class, which they might do. 10 plus an also eligible is 11. She's 12. It's hard to believe there isn't a couple more kicking around. They might go with 2 7 or 8 horse fields, especially since the Stallion Series is racing in 16 days. Some of those horses may not be around. So that's your video for today. I got some horses to race tonight. We got George. We got Britska. We got, what else we got? Furley Fringes. Gonna need a bigger mount. I can't drive her like War We Welcome. I know everybody thinks I'm gonna tell you to bet her because I'm gonna roll her. You can't. She's no good on the front. As Billy found out last week. You're gonna have to find somebody to dump her in behind, and then she has to trot enough. She needs to do more. Philly needs to be tougher. You know, if you had a I Won My Heart Hanover and Furley Fringes were so close in February. I couldn't tell which one was better. I had no idea. You can tell now. Furley Fringes got to do more. Got to do more on the track. Got to take her job more seriously. Nobody took it more seriously than Won My Heart today, and nobody's happier to see that than me. Well, I guess I wasn't at the time because I was way back, but very happy for all of our clients who Won My Heart Hanover. So that is now your long video for Wednesday. Ollie and I are heading back. The rain seems to be subsided. I might be okay for tonight. On our way back to Ohio. Talk to you guys later in the week.